Pauline. All those in favour? Against, carried. Thank you very much. So we now have the Community Board reports from, Community Boards. So we're swapping a few around a bit later on down the bottom, but the first one is Banks Peninsula. Welcome.
Morena, kia ora koutou. My name is Lynn and I'm the new chair of Banks Peninsula Community Board. Thank you. I'm pleased to be here today to update you on the happenings in Banks Peninsula. This month, the board allocated 2,413 for a much-needed commercial oven for the Littleton Community House Trust from the Discretionary Response Fund. We had two submissions that we made. One of them was for the Tourism Environment Action Plan, MBE draft, and the other was the Christchurch City Council Cruising and Prohibited Times on the Road bylaw review. Our community plan priorities. We've made good progress on allocating champions for each of our plan priorities. And we have a Littleton Community Cruise Hui, which we are looking forward to hosting, this Cruise Hui, for the Littleton community, key stakeholders and agencies next week on Tuesday, 8th of August. We are hosting this in collaboration with Christchurch NZ. And I'm also pleased to report that the Destination Management Plan timeline is being extended, including further community consultation. We had a gathering at the Gaiety on Monday, and I shared a kai and korero with locals in Akaroa to they welcomed me into my new role as chair, and Steffi, who's the new Community Development Advisor for Akaroa and the Bays. It's always nice to meet face to face over a cuppa. Community focus is weather in Banks Peninsula. So it's been a challenging time weather-wise on the peninsula, with roads closing multiple times over the month due to flooding and slips. Our contractors and staff have battled to keep our communities connected over this time, and which my appreciation goes out to them. A roundtable working group has been established in Little River, prompted by the community hui held in August last year, due to the ongoing flooding concerns. The group comprises representatives from the Wairewa Runanga, the Little River Wairewa Community Trust, Water Zone Committees, River Ratings District, elected members from Council and ECAN, so it's a good spread and lots of expertise. The group is using their expertise and knowledge to explore options for flooding mitigation. Similar groups are being established in other bays, including Le Bons Bay, Pigeon Bay and Little Akaloa. This is in response to a strong message from the community for assistance in dealing with the overwhelming issues of climate change hazards we now face. There is a clear need for further long-term or mokopuna planning for the peninsula, which thinks broadly and creatively, looking outside and scanning for best practice, being resourceful and knowing the outcome we want. Thank you for your time this morning.
Thank you very much, and good to see you and welcome.
Thank you. Appreciate
well
it.
Done. Pardon? No, we've got to get on to the rest of them. Oh, the rest of, I didn't see that on my screen. Yeah. Yes, Tyler. Tyrone.
Thanks,
Justin.
Mr. Mayor. Kia ora, Lynn, and welcome and congratulations on your appointment as the chair of Banks Peninsula Community Board. Obviously, the weather that we've seen over the peninsula has created a few challenges. What are the sort of the potential impacts on the economy as you see it for Christchurch as a whole there?
Yes. I think it's an immediate and serious risk for Christchurch. I mean, the two main breadwinners for the area are farming and tourism, and so that is an immediate risk that could potentially be a problem. They're greatly impacted by extreme weather events, not to mention the risk for our harbours being cut off. Just, could happen quite quickly and without much warning. And the social impact of people not being able to get to work, or important medical appointments and special events, weddings, so forth. So it's a real concern and something that I'm looking forward to addressing together.
Thanks very much. And just one wee quick thing from me, looking at that flooding that you've got down there, and Tyler and I, Tyrone. Tyrone and I have been talking. Yeah, thank you. Tyrone and I have been talking about some ways that we might be able to mitigate that. But I understand you've got a meeting coming up with U Cottage, where it either moves to, or upwards, or sideways, or also. So that's this week coming, is it?
No, we're still, the report hasn't made it quite
Okay,
yet.
so good luck with that. I'll look forward with interest. Thank you very much for coming
Thank you
in.
for your help with that, Phil.
Good on you. Thank you. And well done with your Governor's Bay jetty, which I was on the other day.
Thank you.
Right, Spraden Cashmere Heathcote, please. Welcome, guys.
Tēnā koutou katoa, ko Callum Tōkunga, ko au te he mana o Poare, Waihoro Spraden Cashmere Heathcote Community Board. Thanks for welcoming us here today.
Kia ora, Kia Leslie, Deputy Chair.
Cool, so I've got a brief report for you today. Starting off with some local matters. So the picture on the left there is the Ōpāwaho Children's Library. It's been out of use for a while. It's currently sitting on the banks of the river, and it's in a spot at the moment that's not a suitable spot for it to be in the long term, given risks of flooding and things like that. So we've been looking, or the staff have been looking for alternative uses. We've approached some community groups, and we've had lots of interest, but none of it's kind of borne fruit yet. So we've extended the period of search for whether there's a suitable home for this building that we can move it to. And if anyone in the room has any ideas, we'd love to hear about it as well. This is a beautiful old building, and it would be a shame for it to be demolished.
Lovely 1930s wooden building, looking for a new home, please.
Yeah, this is the inside. Get on the ground floor. The picture in the middle there is the new Sydenham Indoor Club training facility. So this is a facility next to Sydenham Park. If you know where the Southern United Hockey Club and the Sydenham Cricket Club train. So this has just opened in the weekend just gone. It's a small part of addressing a challenge that our entire board area, and probably I'm sure the entire city, faces in terms of a lack of adequate space to play and train, especially for clubs and codes that use fields. So yeah, it's a growing problem. We're often talking with clubs and codes around representatives around finding space to play, and we're excited to see this facility opening up. Oh yes, so this is the Cormacs Bay Road. So you can see at the top there, that's the road that connects to the coastal, connects to the road out to Sumner, and below that red dot is the coastal pathway. So one of our board priorities is safe transport choices, and that's everything: cars, buses, cycling, walking. And our community's raised this issue up to us where we've got a footpath basically ending in the middle of nowhere, with a great connection opportunity into the coastal pathway. Basically, if we can find a way to complete that footpath, and any cycle infrastructure that could be built in there as well would be great. It would connect the Mount Pleasant community to the coastal pathway, and that green dot there as well as a local play centre. So that's one of the projects we're working on in terms of delivering on safe transport choices. And finally, the South Library and Service Centre rebuild. So yeah, obviously councils have been briefed with information about some of the costings, and it's going to be coming to the board in a report in August. So based on the information that we've been given by staff, at the moment it's looking like, from the board's point of view, it's looking like that the out of the sort of the three options that were originally on the table of repairing the building, rebuilding the building, or postponing, doing a bit of minor strengthening work and postponing the rebuild. Based on the information that the board's received so far, it looks like repairing is going to be an option that doesn't really make much financial sense, and strengthening in a similar case is something that is going to deliver. It's going to be more expensive and deliver delayed outcomes for the community. So, pending more information in the report, we're excited about the prospect of a possible rebuild for this facility. And that is our presentation. Did you have anything to add to that, Keir?
I did, which was just to take the opportunity to acknowledge Annabelle Hasselman, who has been the chair of the Pawaho Heathcote River Network for a while now and has recently stepped down. The OHRN is one of the organisations that we're really excited about partnering with to tackle some of the ecological challenges in the south of Christchurch. And so one of the really exciting things for us is the way that organisation's now in that space where we can work together as council working with the community rather than council doing everything on its own. So just to acknowledge how mahi to get us here, and to welcome Quinton MacDonald, who is the new chair, and someone I'm sure many of you will either know already or get to know as we kind of try to work through these problems together. So yeah, thank you.
Thanks, Keir. Yeah, thanks for reminding me.
Thank you. One wee question from me, and then Aaron can have a talk. That library is free if someone wants to take it away. Just making sure that
Do you mean the South Library or the Pawaho Children's Library?
In fact,
if you want to take it away,
in fact, not just free.
The old one.
Not just free. There's actually
But wait, there's more.
Yeah, council is generously willing to assist with some of the, from memory, generously willing to assist with some of the cost. So if people are looking at it a bit worried about the cost of, potential costs, my understanding is council are very happy to have a conversation. So yes, there is more.
If you call within the next 30 minutes.
No. All I'm doing is just putting it out there because some people out there in out their land might not know that what the benefit is.
Yeah.
Aaron, please.
Yeah, was on that as well. So does that currently flood to floor level, does it?
Not my understanding. My understanding is that there is a risk of a sort of a once in a X long period of time flood wiping the building out.
You just can't actually get to the building when the flood. It may not go over the floor, but it's like an island, and there's no way you can get to it.
Right. So, but that's only once or twice a year.
Oh, it's a wee bit more than that.
But it's going. But thank you very much.
It needs to go from where it is.
That area's dropped. So.
It's decided that it's going, so we will help someone have it if they want it.
Perfect. Thanks very much.
Good to hear.
Thank you.
Okay, Fendleton, Waimari, Harewood, please.
Doesn't she? Good morning, everybody. My name is Jason Middlemas. I'm the Deputy Chair of the Fendleton Waimari Harewood Community Board. I'm here today. So just for our first screen, just some decisions made under delegation. Quickly approved a ground lease to Plunkett for the premises on Pinehurst Reserve. Approved a tree removal in Dunmurray after receiving residents around health concerns. And public forums, we had Stephen Wood from Wednesday Wheelies come in to talk to us about cycling infrastructure, which was really insightful, and Bruce Irvine talking about Nepal Reserve and some possible enhancements there. Many of you will be aware of the Give Gear Get Great initiative, which is coordinated by our local community recreation advisors. This involves the public donating good quality second-hand sports equipment, which can be repurposed and given out to groups that need it. We have a collection bin at the Fendleton Library, and we're recently able to provide a range of equipment to the Burnside West Cricket Club, which will be utilised by the 18 junior teams that exist within that club. This has turned out to be a very successful initiative, which I understand was started by the Spraydon Cashmere Community Board. The Dusk to Dawn event is held every second year and involves bringing together a large number of young people to participate in a range of activities over a 12-hour period. This year we had 150 teenagers take part from 8 p.m. on a Friday night through to 8 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Activities included a silent disco, quizzes, climbing wall, watching a movie at Hoyt's Cinema at Northlands, and a 3 a.m. swim at the Graham Condon Pool. This event is run in partnership with the Papanui Youth Development Trust with support from our community rec advisors. A huge thank you to our local staff and the staff at the pool for opening up for this event at that time. It is jointly funded by our board and the Papanui Innis Central Community Boards, so sorry to Emma if we've stolen your thunder by presenting before you. We just thought we'd share with you the 10-year celebration of a successful initiative in our board area. For those of you who have been around for a while, you'll recall as a part of the earthquake recovery, community boards were able to access funding from the Capital Endowment Fund to support local community projects. One of the projects our board funded was the purchase of a minivan to be available for local community groups to use for outings and activities. We established a MOU with St Barnabas Church in Fenelton, who took ownership of the van and coordinate the bookings. Our board provides a small grant each year towards the maintenance and insurance costs. 10 years on and over 30 different groups use the van on a regular basis. From our board's perspective, this has certainly been money well spent. Many of you will remember a few years back when St Margaret's Presbyterian Church on Farrington Ave in Bishopdale was the victim of an arson attack. We're excited to report that the church recently celebrated the opening of their new building, which is quite stunning inside and includes purpose-built community spaces for local groups to use. The new building is a great asset to our Bishopdale community, and we congratulate them on the huge amount of work that went into the development. This includes a great deal of community engagement in terms of what type of facility would be of benefit to the local community. And one of our key local groups, the Bishopdale Community Trust, is benefiting greatly from the new facility. The trust used to be located next door at Sunby House, which was quite small and restricted the types of activities that could be provided. They have now moved into a brand new space at St Margaret's and are enjoying the much larger, warmer and more accessible space to participate in activities, including card groups, Scrabble groups, art and crafts, jigsaw library and regular community lunches. The Trust recently hosted our Community Liaison Network meeting, and people were very impressed and a little bit jealous of the lovely space. Thank you very much. That's all from us.
Thank you. Anyone got any questions? Well done. Thank you. So now we have Horsball Hornby Rickerton, please. Hey, Marie. Ellen?
Right. Thank you. Thank you for having us. I think we're going to be quite boring after your public forum, so I'll be as least boring as possible. The first item is decisions aren't made under delegation. I'll just pick out a few here. The notice of motion, pedestrian access on Sabies and Dunbar's Road, Horswell. We have a lot of problems in Horswell, so we will be coming back a lot on that issue. Waterloo Reserve, a proposed lease by Rod Benders. Just jumping to the next one, proposed parking restrictions, 83 Clyde Road. That is the Kate Shepherd house, and I think the Labor government purchased it under the heritage funding, and it was the actual site where Kate Shepherd ran her campaign from in 1893. So it's a very, in my view, very important piece of heritage. All we're doing here is putting in some minor parking restrictions. And we've had Youth Development Fund. We're delegating smaller amounts to staff. And we've also funded in our discretionary response fund the Church Corner Toy Library and Nepal New Zealand Friendship Society. Moving to the next one, we've done a lot of submissions recently. We've done Ways to Safer Streets, cruising in prohibited times on roads bylaw, and we've added some streets from Upper Rickerton and Hornby, which council had added, and we've endorsed them. Draft Greater Christchurch Spatial Plan. The proposed Plan Change 4 has come back to us. We did a formal submission, that's the Airbnb, and we were there at mediation, and it's come back probably to you and us. I think we were largely on council's position there. And finally, we've done further submissions, cross submissions on our proposed housing and business choice Plan Change 14. Just incidentally, I went to the first hearing of the panel yesterday. A lot of planners and lawyers. I won't go into some of the complications, but legal arguments are being raised on our qualifying matters. So that's all from me. Marie?
Right. So we wish to highlight a few activities or achievements of our communities in Holswell, Hornby, and Riccarton with the support from the community board. One of this is the Summer with Your Neighbors. So applications for funding assistance to hold events are open and will close on Friday, August 11th. The Hornby Community Safety Meeting. The Greater Hornby Residents Association hosted a Hornby Safety Workshop, and which was supported by our community governance staff, and it was very much appreciated, hardworking and our capable staff assisting this. And there were like 3 questions asked to the residents, like, what do you like about Hornby? What are the things that make Hornby less safe? What can the community do to help deal with the issue? And 4 themes came up in this workshop, like antisocial behavior, including youth issues, policing issues, graffiti and vandalism, theft and burglaries, and I'm sorry, there's a 5th one, the social issues. So the summary of the feedback and thoughts were already sent out to the participants for this. The Huritini Council, if you remember a couple of months ago, I presented also a video about the safety, driving safely in Holswell. So the Huritini Council, composed of several schools in Holswell, continues to spread the drive safely for our safety message to drivers in the community. The members have been handing out bumper stickers sharing the safety message, and the aim is to invite all Holswell parents and drivers to commit to driving safely and create a shared community culture where drivers take responsibility for their driving behavior, especially near schools. The Hornby Community Patrol, the board approved a grant to the patrol towards the purchase of a gazebo. And this will hugely benefit the patrol, particularly in the winter months. The signage will also greatly enhance the visibility in the community. And that's all from us. Thank you.
Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much. Thank you very much indeed. Right, Papua New Guinea Central, please.
Kia ora koutou. Thank you for having us along today to give you an update on what our Waipapa Papanui Inner Central Community Board has been up to over the last month. Our July meeting was centred around the Rolleston Ave and Park Terrace road changes report, which you have before you today as a Part A report. I'd like to thank those 4,000 people who gave feedback to the online survey on the changes, as well as the 36 people who came and gave deputations at that meeting. We heard some very passionate and well thought out presentations from a range of viewpoints, which helped inform our decision. And also thank you to the staff for all their work going into that meeting and today's decision.
Other activities in the past month, board members have been presenting certificates to participants in the Edible and Sustainable Garden Awards. This year 15 certificates were given out, and congratulations and thank you to all of those who participated in that. And of course a reminder that those awards started under what was at the time Shirley Papanui Community Board, and yeah, it's really great to see the ongoing support for those types of activities in our community.
We also recently held our second hui with local school principals for the year, where we had staff from the Council's Safe and Sustainable School Travel Program join us. The information shared was well received by the principals, with a number commenting on the great help they've already received from this council team.
With Matariki in the past month, there's been a number of events in our community board area. The photos on the screen here are from Matariki in the Zone at Richmond Community Garden. There was also Tirama Mai in Victoria Square, and a number of other events around our board area hosted by a number of groups.
The Sticks Living Laboratory Trust had a busy month in July, with a lot of their work focusing around a planting day in Murchison Park in Redwood. The week before this planting day, the Trust delivered 1,040 free native trees to houses in the local neighbourhood, as well as a gift certificate for another free tree from Trees for Canterbury. People who didn't have space on their own property for their tree were encouraged to bring it along to the planting day at the park, which had a good turnout of locals to get a good number of plants in the ground. This is the first step in what is a longer term vision that the Trust has for the park, so it will be exciting to see and be part of this project moving forward.
Also got a slide on Dusk till Dawn. You've already heard about that, so we'll move on from there. So thanks to our neighbours for covering that one.
We also had a very cool youth event at Shirley Community Reserve recently with the fresh 3x3 basketball tournament. Young people battled it out on court, enjoyed free braids and a sausage sizzle, and also gave feedback on the future of the reserve, which Simon is going to tell you more about now.
So Shirley Community Reserve, 10 Shirley Road, it's a key priority identified in our community board plan. Consultation is currently open, and we've had engagement already through the Fresh event that Emma's just mentioned. We've had staff at Shirley Primary School and Shirley Intermediate School as well, getting feedback from children at both those schools. And there's public engagement open now on the Let's Talk Kōrero Mai webpage, asking people to share views and for us to get a sense of priorities between different options that are possible on that site as we consider where the direction of travel might be with the funding that's in the long-term plan for some type of community facility there.
And that's us.
Wonderful. Any quick, Sarah, please.
Kia ora. I know that you're doing the work on 10 Shirley Road, and I'm just wondering, as a temporary measure until funding kicks in, whether you're interested in a beautiful old wooden building for more power. Just as a...
That's a good question.
We'll take that back to our board.
Yeah.
Yanni?
Yeah, thank you for your report. Previously, when you came and spoke to us in regards to Park Terrace, you raised concerns that the community board delegations were overruled or not adhered to. I'm just trying to understand where we've got to with that report, the delegations to community board, and where we're now at in terms of decision making. Because I'm surprised that a number of the stuff is coming back to council, when I thought last time you presented it was actually a community board.
Yeah, we received an apology from staff for skipping that part in the original process, so we feel that that's been rectified.
So, sorry, why isn't your board then making decisions in regards to Park Terrace, given that it's in your area?
Because it is a Part A, so it's a council decision.
Yeah, the issue that was raised previously concerned decisions that were our delegation to make around the moves of the bus stops associated with that project, and also the informing of the board in the lead up to the project. That's the bits that were missed, and that's what I raised in my capacity as the CBEC representative. That's resolved from my perspective.
Right. So the cycleways, the community board doesn't make decisions on cycleways.
No.
Is that the deal?
No.
Thank
you, Yannick. Yeah, time's up. Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Thank
Good
you.
to see you again.
Thank you.
So now, lastly, we have Coastal Burwood Linwood, and Jackie, please. I'm Chris.
Morena. Just kicking off today, we have the Hayata Community Campus Streets for Design Jam. I love these initiatives that get the community involved, especially younger people and youth. Having raised my own children and a few other people's children through fostering, what they want is very rarely what we envisage, so it's always good to consult with them. We've had a refurbishment at the Parklands Community Centre, and it's nice to see this happening across our board area. There's a few that have been refurbished, and it increases public, participation in the community and community cohesion. So that's always a bonus. We're going really quickly today because we're running a bit late, aren't we? And we've also got there 2 Tuesdays, 32 locals and 700 plants. That was an amazing couple of days in the Bromley Community Centre. And again, getting the public involved in that, it brings the community together. Bromley is a really good community. The community centre there has a lot of activity. So that cohesion, again, it serves to build on that. And just finally, the organics processing plant still stinks. But I'd just like to touch on something that was mentioned by one of our public forum speakers about how decisions implemented on people can affect their investments and so on, and would like people to reflect on the fact that the Portlink development with the containers has been placed on a piece of land that directly impacts the financial investment and the quality of life of the people who live in Woolston. So, you know, it's actually good to, when you're criticising someone else, to look at what you yourself are doing. And perhaps I'd just like to say the noise down there has been horrendous, the dust has been horrendous, and I'd like you guys to keep your eyes on that ball. And that's probably it from us.
Thank you. Thank you very much. Any questions? Well done, you.
Thank you.
Before I ask for a mover and seconder for the board's presentations, I'd just like to say that to everyone out there, one of the things that we're thinking of doing is next time at our next council meeting is having the community board people come in after lunch and give them 10 minutes each, because sometimes you're a bit constrained on time and you just get into the swing of it, and then we've got to sort of shut you down, for want of a better word. You don't have to use the whole 10 minutes, but we're discussing that with the boards to see if that will work. So, and then we have our meatier stuff in the mornings while we're fresh, so to speak. So just let you know. So thank you to the boards for their presentations. I'll now ask for a mover and seconder, and Pauline and Tim for the community board reports. I'll put that motion. All those in favour? Gates, thank you very much. So we're now